Ho ho! Ho ho, me hotties! Lovely to have you with us. It's Friday night and it's 12 minutes to 10 o'clock in the evening. And I thought I'll just do a quick pop up and see who's about. And here you are yourselves. How amazing is that? Fantastic stuff. So there we go. So what I'm doing is just getting the camera sorted for you. You're seeing quite a lot of computer top there. There we are. Fantastic stuff. Hi, Sam Dinky-Doo. Nice to have you with us and a very warm welcome. Good stuff, folks. There we go. And the lighting's rather good tonight. Very fetching. That's what we like. If you've just joined us, a very warm welcome. You're watching Scottie McClue, hashtag FlowTie, the first lord of the internet. And this is a random Friday night pop-up in practice for tomorrow night's mega phone-in. Dinky-Doo from Blair Gowdy, Art Monty. Have you got the berries bubbling away under the polytunnels there? And come and join us as soon as you can. Thank you very much, Gillian, for a beautiful red rose. So very much appreciated. Lovely thing to do. And Dinky-Doo. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening. Lovely to have you all with us. And welcome, I say. You wish you were from Yorkshire. Well, I don't need to because I'm apparently the world's only honorary Yorkshireman. There we go. So I don't need to wish I was from Yorkshire, but yes, I do. But don't tell everybody that. There we are. You're not watching the football? Of course not, Diggers Golf. Why on earth would Scottie McClue be watching football? I'll tell you what I've just done. I tried out a new platform tonight called Twitter Space. So if you follow me on Twitter at Scottie McClue, you'll see the Twitter Space. Hi, King. Hi, iHeart. How lovely to have you with us. Chris Grant, you're a very generous man. 25 beautiful TikToks for Scottie McClue, courtesy of you. We thank you. That is such a lovely thing to do. There we are. And just so typical of you, I say. If anybody wants to send me TikToks, then do. You're very welcome. I'll just say good evening. So there we are. What football's on tonight, guys? Is it? Oh, it's Man U, isn't it? If I remember right, something like that. I did see it starting, but I think football should just be on a Saturday afternoon. We shouldn't have to put up with it for the rest of the week. Are you a professional wrestling fan? No, but I used to. Chris Grant, thank you. They are so kind. Hi, Scottie. It's me from last night. Yes, Jaden, of course. No, but I used to introduce it on ITV on a Saturday afternoon. Professional wrestling. We loved it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris, for my lovely TikToks. So very good of you. There we are. What time does the football finish? I never even gave that a thought, but it doesn't matter because there's so much media out there that no matter what time you pop up, you're going to be clashing with something. So you're better not to bother about it. Trent says, how are you this fine evening, Scottie? I am excellent, Trent. So good to have you with us, and Dinky-Doo. So there we are. Now, Gavin, we'll have to say cheerio to you. So Gavin's away down the Swanee for trolling. He knows not to use that language on here, and he just got it wrong. There we are. Wonderful stuff. Scottish Travel has just joined us, and Beachy. How fantastic is that? Everybody coming and joining us at the one time. We like that. Used to love your morning shows, Doogie. I loved it, honestly. There we are. FB hugs. Who's Doogie? Who was Doogie, I wonder? Dinky-Doo, Scottie, Lala. Beachy. Dinky-Doo, Lala. Lovely to have you with us. I hope you're all going to join us for the phone-in. I'll just set this right so you can read the badge on my hat. I hope you're all going to join us, guys, for the phone-in tomorrow. That would be just amazing. There we are, fantastic. You should be able to read the badge. Scottie McClue, Dinky-Doo, the right way up. What was the degree ceremony? Is Doggo still with us? That Doggo is not with us. And I lost the last one a year ago roundabout now. So there we are. A year ago roundabout now, wee Clydie went. That was Lord Reith. And the award ceremony was Lord Reith's degree, and I went along to hold the hood. Positive Friday vibes to you, sir, and you, the Saltire. Sorry to hear that. No, not at all, because Lord Reith made 13 and Lord Clyde made 14 and a half. You'll see them on the TikTok videos. Guys, tell me this. Can you see all the TikTok videos just looking right now? Do tell me, please, somebody tell me. Good evening from Pitlochry. I love Pitlochry, of course. Pitlochry Festival Theatre, the main street. So there we go. Wonderful stuff. I remember somebody telling me about Pitlochry because the theatre used to just run in the summer. It was seasonal. It ran, I think, from April through until October. And I can remember somebody saying, oh, Pitlochry in the winter. Oh, you could go up the main street and hardly see a soul. And I thought that's very interesting because in the summer, Pitlochry is just mobbed. Sorry, Scottie, what's your honest thoughts on Boris Johnson? My honest thoughts, FP Hugs, is that he is a remarkable individual. He has been known to misconstrue the truth. Let's not kid ourselves. And I think he's a non-stick man and will probably try to tough it out. But he may not get that opportunity. But if you remove Boris at this very difficult time in the UK's development, then or backward development after Brexit, if you remove him, who are you going to put in his place? That's the thing. I think Boris Johnson should resign, says Goggles. Did you have some snow today? We had sleet today. So we had that, but no snow. USA, Illinois here, sir. Joy to see you on here. Music addict in Illinois. So lovely to have you with us, and a big Dinky-Doo worldwide. Do you wear contact lenses? No, Trent. I did around 1984, 85. I tried them for reading the news on television, but they were hard contact lenses, and you had to pop them into your eye and take them out and stuff. And they used to just pop out of their own volition at times. And that was a bit frightening, I could tell you. They were very difficult to find. You could be crawling around the floor. Somebody said, what are you doing? He said, sorry, please don't stay where you are. I've lost a contact lens. Please don't walk over here. A bit of a nightmare. So I just went back to the Gregory Pecks, the specs. There we are, the Gregorys. Yes, who wants golf as PM? Well, there you are, Captain Obvious. You do have a point. Would you trust Boris with a fiver? Oh, I'd trust him with a fiver. I don't know if he could be trusted with 500 billion pounds of the UK's money for Brexit, the pandemic, the PPE, all that stuff. So there you go. Fantastic stuff. Lovely, loyal, learned Labrador. Oh, wow. I love the alliteration there. The best form of alliteration. Does everybody know what I mean by alliteration? The use of the same first letter in all the words. And the best example I've ever seen of alliteration was Gilbert and Sullivan, W.S. Gilbert, William Schwenk Gilbert's libretti for the Savoy Operas. And it was the Mikado, I think, and there's an alliteration song. And it goes, to sit in solemn silence in a dull, dark dock, in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shock from a chippy, chippy chopper on a big black block. Don't. How many bonnets do you have? Oh, Jim Cook, I could not count them. There we are. I was cut off on Twitter. It took ages to get back on. Jim. Fantastic. Lovely talking to you. Is that the same Jim I was talking to tonight? So there we are. Do you like Janet McCranky? I like both the Crankies. I think they're outstanding artists. Scottie, can you tell us who's in the photos behind you? That's me. That one was presented to me by Red Rose Radio. There we are. And that's a graduation photo presented to me with Lord Reith, the Labrador. There he is. Isn't he handsome? Oh, he was a handsome big dog. Scottie, how many times has the sun orbited the Milky Way? 4. Scottie, how art thou? Eddie Doyle, what a privilege to hear you from Newmarket. Doonsooth. Which part of the UK was the first civilian casualty from a German air raid in WW2? Birmingham or Greenock? There was a terrible blitz in Greenock and a terrible blitz in Clydebank, and my mother remembered seeing it. She was in Argyll, and she looked across to Otter Ferry, which is a direct line to Greenock, and she saw the sky on fire. And she was very worried for the family in Greenock. So there you are. Boris should quit. Well, it's maybe a wee bit early to think about quitting, and he might be one of these people. You see, Churchill never, ever, ever quit. You know, never, ever, 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 ever give up. I only ask because you wear glasses in your background portraits. Yes, but that was a long time ago. It's very interesting. I do have my little specs here, as you know, but I now take them off to see. So it's really quite interesting. I was watching Fred Dibner. Scottie is so good. Eddie Doyle, is the man not wonderful? And I was very lucky. I had a lovely father who had a lot of elements of Fred Dibner in him. And when Fred Dibner's watching somebody doing something, he gives the impression he's never done it before. And he goes, "Can I have a go?" The guy says yes. And of course, he gets it exactly right. I think I saw him involved. Somebody was explaining oak framing to him from the 1500s, putting the oak together just like a big Meccano kit. And that's how they built these houses. Now, apparently it was Orkney in 1940, Scottie. Wow. Because the Greenock Blitz was 1941. And I'm trying to think, I think the Clydebank one would be the same. So there we are. Fred Dibner is just wonderful. So there we are. Churchill did quit, Scottie. He resigned as First Lord of the Admiralty in 1915 after the failure of Gallipoli. You knew that, though. I did, Robert. And do you know what he did after that? I'm going to ask you the question. Where did Churchill go after he resigned as First Lord of the Admiralty? He saw the blood in the water at Gallipoli. My grandfather was there with the Scottish Horse as a cavalryman at Gallipoli in 1915. And poor Grandpa, he had a lot of pain and stuff latterly in his life. And he died at 70, which is not old nowadays. And he'd been through 2 world wars, you know, and the things he had seen. And I can remember as a wee boy when we used to do things like play Brits and Jerry's. And I came out with it. My father had been in most theatres of war. And I said to him, and he's not going to tell a child, you're never going to tell a child this anyway. I said, "Daddy, did you kill anybody in the war?" And he went, "Oh, no." And that was it, you see. And I was all upset. And Granny said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Dad says he didn't kill anybody in the war." And she said, "Well, that's a good thing because your poor grandpa killed plenty." They had to take the sabres to them in the First World War. It was them or us, wasn't it? Which tartan is on your cat, Scottie? Well, we think it's Black Watch or Campbell. You know, so there we go. He joined the Royal Scots. No, Robert, he didn't join the Royal Scots. But you're on the right track, right? You're a little bit out there. He joined the Royal Scots Fusiliers, right? Which was a Glasgow regiment and amalgamated with the HLI, the Highland Light Infantry, and that got us the Royal Highland Fusiliers. And the Highland Light Infantry were based in Maryhill Barracks, just round the corner from where I lived. And they're now Princess Margaret's own Royal Highland Fusiliers. There we are. Fantastic. 360 episodes of Take the High Road. I'm loving it. Oh, Martin, once you get into Take the High Road, you'll never give it up. So here we got Morning Lord Duke of the Dundee. Keir Starmer's a powerful man. There's a powerful big chap here, actually. Very clever. Shout out for Suzanne in Wishaw General. I will, Ryan. Suzanne, get strong and well, please, in the Wishy General. Good evening, Scottie. Hope you're Dinky-Doo. Jara John. How lovely to have you with us, and Dinky-Doo. Looking forward to tomorrow's phone-in. Me too, Martin. 9 o'clock sharp. Be there or be square, I say. Fantastic. Do people realise if Boris goes, it won't trigger an election? The party members will choose the PM. Well, this is it. Scotland hasn't had a Tory government now for either 50 or 60 years. I'm trying to think who was in as the last Tory in Scotland, the last time Scotland voted for a Tory government. It's about 50 or 60 years ago. And I think it was probably Anthony Eden at the time, who, of course, had carried Churchill through the war. What's more important, someone you can trust or someone who performs? Well, if it's someone, I mean, I've only met one bad man in my life, and that was the man that took money off me in a business deal and took money off many, many, many other people, bigger businessmen than me, just took their money. And a very, very dishonest person and a very bad person. And that's the only one bad man I have ever met in my life. And I remember telling somebody this, and they said, well, you're very lucky because there's a lot of them about, but just one very bad man. And he took money off me in a business deal, huge money. And that was the end of my life savings. But, had I realized from the outset that he wasn't to be trusted, as I realized fairly quickly, then you kind of know a con man, says Jim. Yes, an absolute con man, Jim. There we are. And Callum from Barra, says Callum. Ha, Callum, Camera, Hachema, Falchi, Maha, Kida Mille Falchi Don, YouTube and TikTok. Agus SCOTTIE McCLUE. Sure, Scottie, sure, Callum. Yes, indeed. So that's the thing. What's more important? So somebody you can trust or somebody who performs. I always would want to be able to trust the person, and usually the person who performs. For instance, the bad man never delivered anything he said he would. Nothing. So there we are. Duff business person. I've watched all the phone-ins from number one, Martin. I've watched all of them. So good evening to you, Callum. Lovely to have you with us, and Dinky-Doo. Now then, do you know Dundee, Rusitsky, like the back of my hand? Where would you like to know? Camperdown Park, Invergowrie. I'm just coming over from the west here. Mingus Hill, Nine Wells, Ardlar, moving into Lochee, moving into the Cleppy Road, moving into the Old Harris, moving down to the waterfront and to the Discovery and to the V&A, moving along towards the Kingsway East, down to the bottom there, turn left at the Claypots Castle and go out to the Brochty Ferry, the Douglas and Angus Estate, the Whitfield, well, a lot of it's changed now, the Whitfield Estate, out to the New Tile, up the top and out into the country to the New Tile. How am I doing? Do I know Dundee or do I know Dundee? There we are. The How of Strathmartin, fantastic. How can you tell if someone's bad? Did your gut instinct tell you something was not right about him? It did, Jim, but by that stage, he was very clever because he'd been doing people all his life. And no due diligence even could have prepared you for how bad this person was, because he stole, he lied, he cheated, he built himself up. He was effectively a psychotic narcissist. So there we are. What would you call it? A sociopathic. So no feelings or anything for anyone else. A very, very, very bad individual. But that will come to nothing anyway. So there we are. But your gut instinct tells you eventually But I think, you know, I also, he tried several times to get me on board with various business things, and I said no. And then eventually this particular thing. But there we are. I don't believe there are bad people, Scottie. Some people do bad things. I do believe in rehabilitation and recovery. This guy will never be able to rehabilitate or discovery because of the psychosis side of things. If you've ever watched a movie called Shutter Island, you know, it actually says when they talk about rehabilitation, when they talk about punishment in prisons and things like that, you can't beat the psychosis out of anyone. So there you are. The psychosis is there. And that's just the way their brain's wired. You've just got to be very wary. So there we are. So yes, no, he was definitely a bad person. I don't think there'll ever be any rehabilitation or recovery for that one. But they have to live with the consequences of their guilt forever. Yes, assuming they can feel guilt. I remember discussing this with a professional. He went, no, he'll know fine what he's done to you, Scottie. Yes, he'll know fine. I said, do you think so? So there we are. That's the thing. I'm up in Aviemore in a week. Look forward to seeing Scotland. Oh, Jim, you will it. You know, you might even get a lot of snow. You might not see it. That's the problem, because sometimes it can be quite misty. I like your wee bonnet, Scottie, says Thomas Penman. Thomas Penman, Dinky-Doo, lovely to have you with us. Exactly. Some people are broken. End of. Jim, you're quite right. And this was a broken man. Do you know what I mean? And had an arrogance about himself that he could, he didn't have the confidence to think he was able to earn his own money. So he stole other people's, you know, that sort of thing. But there we go. That takes all kinds to make a world. And the important thing is not getting into the shecht, it's getting out of it, as you know. We're hoping for snow, absolutely. Well, it couldn't break you, Scottie. No, because, Robert, you have to realise you're dealing with something very, very toxic, and it will go on being toxic. I mean, this guy was doing his own family. This guy was doing his own mother. You know, and when you get to that level, and big business people, I love the Glengarry hats, says Martin. Martin, we've got the Glengarry here. I'll show you, because I know you enjoy the Glengarry. 700 Glengarried men. When the call came sweeping down the glen, dinner, stare and stand to get your rifle in your hand. The Argyles are moving again. Powerful, the wee Argyles. So there we are, Lieutenant Colonel Colin Mitchell. Tremendous people. Right, so there's the Glengarry. We'll just pop it on for you, Martin, because I know you like to see McClue in his Glengarry. How's that, guys? We've got the Glengarry on. Fantastic. That's it. There we are. We'll keep that on for a wee bit. I was surprised there's a penman tartan, Scottie. Yes, Thomas. There's all sorts of things. And there's penmen up in Aberdeenshire, the most gorgeous little village. In fact, something's just come into my mind. Did you ever hear of a film called Local Hero? Right? Local Hero. This film, Local Hero, a brilliant, brilliant movie. And what you've got in there, it was filmed, I'm sure, in the village of Penman in Aberdeenshire. Lovely wee village. It was supposed to be a West Coast village, but it was filmed, I'm sure, in Penman. And then I seem to remember Penman had some kind of natural tragedy, like a landslip or something that had to be sorted, but it's the most beautiful village. I went swimming there once. I'm sure I did. You come down steps. I love you, Martin and Emma. Thank you, Martin and Emma. You're fantastic. There's Alice. We don't know where Alice is from. We think she's from the north of England. I agree, Scottie and Jim. There are just some people who are made that way in life. It's about how we respond to people. When we're healed, we can move on. These people are our lessons. Alice, very, very profound, and thank you. In fact, Alice, you saying that, just what it does, it just underscores the fact that I've moved on. There's a much bigger world out there, and some poor wee toxic soul who's damaged, who doesn't know any better. Yes, it's how you move on and how you recover. And I was able to do that because of beautiful people like you, Alice. So there we are. Alice, you're right. My dad and uncle were in the Argyll and Southern Highlanders Regiment, Scottie. Thomas, it's not Southern, it's Sutherland from the north. They were originally the 93rd Highlanders. In Sutherland, you had Sutherland Highlanders. And then you had the Argylls, the Thin Red Line at Balaclava. And they united and became the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. Fantastic, tremendous people. I'm very, very, very familiar with the regiment, and it's very distinguished people. Now, I love the song Jeannie McCall. A fine wee lass, a bonny wee lass, says bonny wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl. I met her at a wedding in the Cooperative Hall. I was the best man. She was the belle of the ball. Is that right? Scottie, do you remember the school in Norway? Yes, the gunman shot 70. Yes, I know that. Wrote books while in prison and got married. He was a very intelligent guy, but was crazy. Well, yes, anybody that harms another individual is crazy. You know what I mean? You should never harm another individual. But the way I looked at this bad man is this toxic person is if I was a a worker with prisoners, say, and somebody had given me a job to look after a particular prisoner, or somebody who was seriously mentally disturbed, and said, Scottie, never, ever, ever turn your back on him. And say I got attacked by this person, and there was an inquiry, and they said, what happened, Scottie? I said, I turned around for a second. They went, you turned your back on him. I would take responsibility for turning my back on that person because I am the responsible adult. The other person is damaged, yes, and doesn't know any better. Do you see where I'm coming from? So what I did was I took responsibility and said, you know, shame on me for being taken in by a damaged person, toxic individual. And that was that. I know my bad spelling, absolutely. What have we got? Strip the Willow and the Gay Gordons. Absolutely. Have you ever danced a Strip the Willow, Martin? It's not for the faint-hearted, but it's fantastic. I can remember dancing the night away at the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders Ball in the Great Hall at Stirling Castle. And we had Petronella, the Duke of Hamilton, Strip the Willow, the Lancers, the whole lot. Just tremendous. Now, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, guys, can every single one of you give me a thumbs up? If you go to the bottom left, I think it is, you'll see a little thumbs up logo. And if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be just tremendous. I don't quite understand the YouTube because I've had, you know, hundreds of thousands of viewers, but I've got 3,000 subscribers. Now, I don't know if people are just lazy or whatever it is, but they all watch Scottie McClue's videos, but they won't even click subscribe. So can all of you click subscribe, please? I can't understand it. All the figures go shooting up for viewers, but the subscribers hardly move sometimes. And I find that very, very strange. So if you can go to the bottom left and see a thumbs up, give us one of these. Just click on it. Let us know you're watching. When I was a wee boy in Denny, I remember Andy Stewart on TV at New Year's, Scottie. Yes, Thomas. And Andy was a great guy. I worked with Andy Stewart at Grampian Television. He was a great character, but Andy was only 59 when he died, and he was an absolute legend, you know. and had a lovely family. He's got a son who's an actor and was in Titanic, I think. So there we have it. Robert Scrimgeour, Dinky-Doo. Yes, I have a dance to a lot, Strip the Willow. What's Loch Katrine famous for, Scottie? For supplying clean water to Glasgow. There we are, Glasgow Corporation Water Department. And they have Loch Katrine. And on Loch Katrine is a ship, a boat, the Sir Walter Scott, which was built in 1899 and came to the loch in 1900. She's got a steam engine so she doesn't pollute the water. And you can still, to this day, sail on the Sir Walter Scott. 121 years old this year. 122 this year. Oh, that's lovely. Mark says, loving the show, Scottie. Lots of love from Mark and Elaine in Wishaw. We subscribed. Mark and Elaine, you are beautiful people. Thank you for subscribing. It only takes a second and it's free. It's an unfortunate choice of term, subscribe, because people go, I'm not paying for that. So you don't have to. You just click subscribe. There's good trout fishing in Loch Katrine. Ah, Jim, I didn't know that. How are you, Scottie? I'm absolutely superb. Thank you. Do you know which castle's the most haunted in Scotland? Let me think. Which most haunted? The most haunted castle in Scotland. Glamis. Glamis Castle, is it? Yes, have I got that right? I loved the Remembrance Sunday last November. Oh, yes, Martin. I actually put up the bit about the world leaders because now the world leaders need to hear that they are educated and they need to use their education. I think America's missing Donald Trump. And I've put a TikTok video up to that effect. You'll see it on YouTube as well, because we upload to YouTube, guys. Let me know on the chat once you subscribe. That would be terrific. There we go. Lots of wonderful people with us tonight. Am I right, Count Murcielago? Is it Glamis? Susan, I'm okay. Having a busy day. Yes, indeed. Edinburgh. Edinburgh Castle, Thomas. Aha. So Edinburgh's the most haunted. There we are. I know there are ghosts in Glamis. I heard that they found where there had been a room in Glamis and they unblocked it and there were skeletons. Oh, but I'll tell you an even better story than that. On the west coast of Scotland, between Crinan and Kilmartin, is the remnants of one of the most beautiful mansions I've ever seen. The roof had to be taken off in 1959 for financial reasons. There was no rot in it. Portallach House. And opposite Portallach House, it was the home of the Malcolms of Portallach. Mary Malcolm, the newscaster, one of the first BBC announcers, super lady, lovely people, the Malcolms. And Mary's brother, George, started the Edinburgh Military Tattoo. And he was an Argyll. He was a colonel in their girls, Colonel George Malcolm. And just a beautiful family. And their father was Sir Ian Malcolm, who ran the Suez Canal and was a great organist and a great diplomat. And he married the daughter of Lily Langtry, the actress. Anyway, that's all by the by. And Duntroon Castle was under siege, and the piper warned his master by playing the pipes that they were coming in from the sea to attack the castle. And they caught the piper and chopped his hands off, so he could never play the pipes again. And that was put down as just a legend. When they were doing up the castle, they found a skeleton with no hands. See, I'm not just an athlete, you know. McClue knows his stuff. So there we go. Yes, what have we got here? Lots and lots of lovely chat. You're all chatting with each other. That's fantastic. That's great. So there we go. Do you know, Dundee? Well, we've done that one, haven't we? I've been worried lately. So there we go, says Will. Well, Will, we'll let you go and deal with your problem. Okay, we'll give you a lifetime ban for being an idiot as well, because you know we're not interested in all that. Good luck to Scottish rugby tomorrow. If it takes a week to walk a fortnight, how many peas are in a barrel of apples? You rouser, there's a good one for us, I can tell you. Greetings from Scapa Flow in Texas. Are you good, my brother? I am, Sammy. Did you watch the Glasgow Derby? No, I'm not really big on football, to be honest with you. We don't have leaders like Churchill anymore. Yeah, but Churchill had his faults as well. You know, I the new. So there we are. Scottie, what have you got? Oh, yes, up the jocks. Dinky-Doo, I say fantastic. A very dear friend of mine was in the Royal Highland Fusiliers. He broke his neck and learned to paint with his mouth. You rouser. How amazing. Fantastic. Guys, if you're watching right now on YouTube, subscribe and go and give us a thumbs up. Bottom left of the picture, you'll see a wee thumbs up logo. Give it a click. Tulloch Castle or Glams, I'd guess. Edinburgh Castles has the headless drummer. You can hear him beating away on a dark, cold night from the grass market. Robert Scrimger, you're frightening the life out of us all. Ardrossan Castles is Martin. Famous pipers, I would say, Ban McCrimmon, who was a redcoat piper killed by the Jacobites in the rout of Moy in 1745. There we are. Fantastic. There we are. Famous pipers. Bill Millen of the Lovett Scouts. 1944 D-Day. We had the descendant of Lord Lovett on here, and I was filling him in on his background, and he was fascinated. Lovely guy. The Glencoe massacre should never have taken place in such a wonderful place. What do you think, Scottie? I do. I agree with you, Thomas. Yes, indeed. There we are. Down the Swanee. You don't mess with Scottie McClue. No, they've gone. There we are. What have we got? After him for years, take him into Langside as an entry to Glasgow School of Art. Great painter. How wonderful. Major Dundee. Do you know where Bonnie Prince Charlie's Gold is, Scottie? I don't, Ryan, but I'm not sure if we should spill the beans on here. Shutter Island is a hidden classic. Do you know, I saw it recently. And it's a fantastic movie. You're really a real psychological thriller. You know, absolutely. Opinions on CBD oil. And maybe he was what was called a philosophical zombie. David Cuz Watson. There you are. How very interesting evening, Scottie, from Plains. Now, Plains out near Avery. Am I right? How amazing is that? Fantastic. An imposter, Scottie. Did it make you weary to trust folk after the bad man? He is in a minority. No. I have no problem trusting folk. And like Elise was saying, it was a lesson. And I couldn't have afforded at the top business school in the world, you know, to sign up for a lesson like that. But you just have to be wary that the world, but as I say, the only bad person I've ever met, you know, and the thing is they get close to you, they sidle up and chat to you and all that sort of stuff and sit and discuss things, and all the time they're doing you. Does Scottie have any place in government? And why would anybody want to do me? Do you know what I mean? I've never done anyone any harm. Does Scotland have any place a government can get a good bowl of French onion soup? Oh, I'm sure it does. I once had a bowl of French onion soup, and in it was a huge chunk of toasted cheese, bread and roasted cheese in the French onion soup. Anybody ever experienced that before? Can you do calls? Callum, I'm not doing calls tonight. But yes, we probably could. One of my uncles lived in Pleen years ago. Well, this isn't Pleen. Pleen's Stirlingshire, Thomas. This is Plains, which I think you're just outside Airdrie. Am I right, guys? Guys, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, please subscribe. Go down to the bottom left of the picture with your mouse and click on the thumbs up sign to let us know that you're watching. There we are. Fantastic. I've been told, Scottie, you can be there for people and offer advice, but you're not responsible for them. They have to live and die by their own decisions. You're quite right. French toast, says Martin. No, Martin. French toast is eggy bread. So what you do to make French toast, now this is the way I would do it. You would get your hot oil and you would beat up a couple of eggs, and then you would dip your bread in the eggs and put them into the frying pan. Another way you could do it is a little bit of gentle toasting of the bread, and then dip it. There we are. And see how many French toasts you can get out. Eggy bread, beautiful. So there we are. These are lovely, lovely foods. Scotland v England predictions for tomorrow. Ooh, I cannot give away the result. How would that look? Follow us, guys, as soon as you can. If you haven't followed me on the TikTok, please do so. Very important. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do so. What's the best way to eat Scott's oats? Do you add salt or is it a myth? Count Marcilago. Get on to Scottie McClue's TikTok account or even YouTube and look up porridge. Scottie McClue porridge, right? And we discussed this last week. You can have salt, you can have sugar, you can put a little bit of salt in the mix and still have some sugar. You can have cream, you can have milk, you can have honey, or you can have a knob of butter and let it just melt in the porridge and gobble that up. And you get the salt and the butter. There we are. Jim Cook says water, salt, and steel cut oaks. What do you think of Still Game, the Scottish comedy? I love Still Game. They say that Scottie McClue may have been the inspiration for Still Game. Oh, I've still got the Glengarry on. Woo-hoo-hoo. Born with a bonnet. They say Scottie McClue may have been the inspiration for Still Game. Because I had my bonnet before it started. 3,500 likes, guys. Absolutely brilliant. But I think I wouldn't like outsiders to think that's the way all Scots are. Yeah, so it's a very interesting piece of work. And it's very funny and it's very clever. I had potage tonight. Potage. Scottie got me on to adding a knob of butter in porridge. It's gorgeous, says Mega Chelsea. Mega Chelsea, I was thinking of you as I was saying, and there you are. Still Game's fantastic. Quite right, Jim. Banana fritters, strawberry banana, smooth cheesecake, ice cream mint. Stop it, Martin. You'll make us all hungry. You'd have been great in Still Game, Scottie. Thomas, I would have loved just a wee cameo role in Still Game. Do you remember when Methadone Mick appeared? And it was just a funny character with the teeth. And I thought I'd like to go into the Klansman and Jack and Victor on either side of me. And Bobby goes, what is it you're wanting, Scottie? So, good evening, landlord, Bobby. May I have a pint of your very finest ale? And for my friends, Jack and Victor, nothing! Scottie, a big shout out to Alex Logan, who passed recently and loved the show. Bless Alex, I say, Mark G. Thank you for mentioning that. Princess Anne's the patron of the Scottish Rugby Union. Kate's now the Rugby Union in England. Prince William's the patron of the Welsh Rugby Union. And these young royals, well, Princess Anne's, one of the older ones, are fantastic people. Fantastic. Order, order. Order, we must have order. Scottie McClue. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You're too young to be on Still Game. You're quite right, Jim. Absolutely. Although I think some of them are quite young, but they play a lot older. But Still Game's been around a long time now. How long has it been around? Could we be talking 20 years, maybe? That sort of thing. I don't know. I remember Chewing the Fat. Do you remember Chewing the Fat? These wonderful BBC comedies, you know. I would quite like to have had a comedy career at the BBC. Do you know what I mean? But then we'd like to do all these things. And as somebody once said to me, you can't drive all the cars, Scottie. You can't live in all the houses. You know, very wise advice. And my dear father, of course, you can only wear one suit. What of the government? Order, order. There we are. It's finished now. Anyway, says Jim. Absolutely, Jim. There wouldn't be a Still Game if there was no Chewing the Fat. Well, I think, Robert, that's a very, very interesting comment. Do you know what I mean? Because Chewing the Fat was a bit of the forerunner for the Still Game. Ran for 8 seasons. Very successful. There we are. Up the order. There we are. Encourage everybody. Thank you for following us. Thanks, Brad, for following us. Can you do calls? It's Callum from Barra. Calls tomorrow night, Callum. Up the jocks, Dinky-Doo, I say. Hope you're watching the 1883 series. Please beat the English tomorrow. Glam, says David. Yes, damn right, we're missing Donald Trump. You're the man, Scottie. What's the clan crest on your hat? That's the SCOTTIE McCLUE badge, I say. What's the topics tonight? Lots of them. I'll tell you what I did tonight, guys. If you've got a Twitter account, follow me at SCOTTIE McCLUE, because I did a Twitter space tonight and talked to the wonderful Jim. And I think Jim has joined us here. Did you have the bell as a child? Oh, yes, Martin. Very, 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 very bad. Och, I the new. Although our head teacher, in those days known as the rector, was one of the first to ban the belt. And yet I had the belt from him, because see, if you were ever outside the door of a class, he would come along. He was a great big guy with a cloak on, a gown, and he put his face right up to yours and he went, go along and wait outside my room. He didn't ask any questions or anything, and then he came along and hammered you. So there you are. I never got the belt, so there's no... I think the ladies tended to get away with it a lot more. I think there was a lot of male teachers, and they didn't belt the girls. So there we are. Watch Judge Roy Bean and the Jersey Lily relationship. Yes. Yes, Chris. Now you are talking. Okay, the new. Can read, pal, your lights are too bright. So there we are. Be sure to watch the Snowden movie. My uncle wore the Glengarry when touring Northern Ireland back in the 18s. Scary times. Was he on Argyll, Chris? Nothing gets by McClue. Absolutely. Love the Glengarry, Scottie. Regards to Big Archie. Absolutely. Big Archie would be 100 this year. So what have we got? Fantastic. There's the wonderful Maria Knight has joined us. Maria, how lovely to have you with us. And a big Dinky-Doo from me, Scottie McClue. There we are. Now, no, my mum got the belt, Scottie. Oh, dear, did she? Aha. And she would probably be a lovely lady. Maybe a wee bit talkative. Used to get it. I used to write lines, says Martin. Susan says she didn't get the belt. Have you heard of the app? There are Scottish channels on there. You can talk to people. Thomas, I will have a look at that. In fact, a wee note and see what comes up, because I'm just always interested. I was talking to Jim tonight, and we had people just popping in and out, but Jim and I were having a good old blather. And I was just saying to him, I see these apps and it says go live, and I think, well, let's try it out. But TikTok has by far been the best of the lot, and YouTube, of course. Fantastic, Dinky-Doo. There we are. Oh, yes, right, Billy. I'll have a look at all that. How fantastic is that? Maria, thank you for my likes. Guys, I've got 3,800 likes. How good is that? There we are. Thomas says, I'm on it, Scottie, as the reggae man. Right. I'll have a look at that, Thomas, and see what is what. Fantastic, because I'm always interested. I know all of us say we wish we were younger, but I genuinely love the technology. I've always loved being ahead of my time. And Scottie McClue's always been ahead of his time. It's true. There we are. The White Lady in Glam's Castle, thought to be Janet Douglas, Lady Glams. How very, very interesting. What a friend we have in Jesus. Do you know, I wonder if I could play you that on the squeeze box, Eddie, as a tribute to you for being such a lovely guy and being such a fabulous, loyal follower of Scottie McClue. Here's the squeeze box, guys. I'll see if I can play it. It might work out, it might not. Do you know what I mean? There you are. That's for you, for being such a wonderful friend, Eddie. What a friend we have in Jesus. First time I've ever played it on the squeeze box, so it's amazing we got away with it at all. A man of many talents. Good man, Scottie, says Kenneth. Not at all. Talented guy, says Jim. Well done, Scottie, says Mega Chelsea. Mega Chelsea, I was flying by the seat of my pants there. I've never tried that before, but it was for Eddie. Bless you, Scottie, and bless you, Eddie, my dear, dear friend, down in Newmarket there. Fantastic. Guys, if you're watching on the YouTube, I need every single one of you to move your mouse down to the bottom left of the picture and click the thumbs up. Thumbs up, I say, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well done, Scottie, going on before. Absolutely. Now, what else have we got? Did you watch the football on Wednesday? No, I didn't, but I believe Celtic did very well. I was wondering tonight, we'll maybe discuss it tomorrow. Should we put Royal in front of Celtic and Rangers? So should we ask the Queen if we could make Glasgow Celtic Royal Glasgow Celtic and Royal Rangers Celtic and just keep everything nice and even there? I love your squeeze box, Scottie. You should be able to take the floor. You're very, very kind. Thank you so much. Very, very good of you, I say. Scottie, you're a good man with a big heart. Not at all, Eddie. Because we're not here forever. And if we can leave a tiny bit of joy, I am convinced the second I go over Jordan, the second I leave this world, I will become mega famous. And people that didn't have a good word for me when I'm here will be going, oh, it was just fantastic. Massive, massive Scottish star. You know what people are like, but you guys are just beautiful. Music unites people, Scottie. I think it does, Eddie. But as I say, I'm absolutely right hand up to the big man, right hand up to God there. I did not know what that would sound like. I took a chance on it, and it was your faith that got me through there, Eddie. It was your faith. Jimmy Shand and Scottie McClue, the best musicians ever. Do you know, Robert? There's Kareem has joined us and is sending all sorts of wonderful gifts on TikTok. There are. Thank you, Kareem. You are so kind. It reminds me of Churchill and Roosevelt on the deck of the USS Augusta Summit on the Squeeze Box tune. What did they sing? Was it Eternal Father Strong to Save? Can't actually remember. Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue. Hello, Tam. Kareem, says Eddie. Isn't that fantastic? Kareem, do you see how popular you are on here? Everybody loves Kareem. He's such a nice man. There we are. Guys, I'm going to have to go. I've just realized we're out of time. This has been a privilege for me to be with such beautiful people as yourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bit of a rehearsal for tomorrow night for the Scottie McClue phone in, the internet phone in, 9 o'clock sharp on Scottie McClue's YouTube channel. Do not miss a second. Everybody subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everybody follow on TikTok. Watch the videos. They're there for you. And some of them, I've been told, are very funny. Back in the Scott FM day, I really thought you were faking the squeeze box. Now we know. Mark G, you're very kind. 9, Scottie, the goodbye song. Yes, I'll sing you the goodbye song, guys. Paige Nancy, thank you for sending me these beautiful red roses. And Kareem, right. Join in, guys. Are you ready? Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. And a cheerio. Bye-bye, my beautiful, beautiful friends. Dinky-Doo, I say. I think it was Lowe's and Pearl on the Sea. Churchill and Roosevelt was an HMS Prince of Wales at the Atlantic Convention. Was that the one Atlantic meeting that H.V. Morton wrote the book on? Great to see you. Good night. And you, Murkilago. Goodbye, Scottie. A privilege as always. Robert Scrimger, lovely to have you with us. All of you, beautiful people, stick out your tongues and say ta-ta. Ta-ta. Ah, it's wonderful. That's our beautiful TikTok has gone. And YouTubers, I'll see you all tomorrow night on this YouTube channel at 9 o'clock sharp. Do not miss it. Be there or be square. To every single one of you, good night and God bless. Dinky-Doo. Ta-da, lass.